Governor, the founders of the Constitution sent you to Washington to enact laws and then to leave Washington to live by the laws you enacted. That was the essence of your participation
exactly.
and your sacrifice. They've made it an occupation.
Yes, they have, and I agree, but
We need term limits.
But the occupation is the fastest way for a young man to make $1 million is not to work, not to go out to work, not to become a college professor, to go into politics. John Corzine spent $60 million to win a Senate seat. 60 million. He recovered it in 2 years. Nancy Pelosi was in Congress 20 years, gained $150,000. She took away $100 million. Now, when you take away the profit motive, when you don't allow, if you would pass one law that would say you can't use information, inside information for trading to make money, that would end your problem with term limits because people wouldn't want to stay there that long.
And who would have to introduce that law?
It would be Congress, and they're not going to
Really?
do it. Right.
Congress.
Aren't they trying to do
And
that
who
now?
wait a second, and who could introduce the constitutional amendment for term limits? The people. You have a better shot at my plan than you do ever have in your plan.
I think you'll
Just
always,
saying,
I
my
think-
friend.
No, I really think that if you went down to tell the people you got a political leader saying, I'm going in to do this, to put this bill up, it'd be interesting to try. No politician has tried it.
It's never going to happen.
Well,
you
you
know
know-
it. You know it's not going to
Well,
happen.
I
It's rhetoric.
could,
It's rhetoric.
I
It's
could
not gonna
probably
happen.
say the same thing about your term limits.
Oh, no, not if you
but-
gave it to the people for a constitutional amendment. That's where you would have to get the roots, the grassroots effort into this. You'll never get it in Washington with them introducing a law to curtail their way of making money.
What would
It's not gonna happen.
what would the audience think is easier? Going through a constitutional amendment to limit trial, or pass a law, or make it mandatory through the courts that you can't make money, you can't use inside trading for in politics.
I don't think you can use insider information.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I'll tell you.
They're doing it.
No. It's legal. It's legal. It's legal. This is what I. It's in other words. I had a nephew.
They challenged, just to clarify, they challenged Nancy Pelosi to put that law.
And she didn't.
And she didn't, to release it from.
Well, no
When
politician.
she was the Speaker of the House.
None of them will do that. That's why you need young men down here who just might. Maybe we get civic involved people to do that.